Catholic Community, Culture, and Caring School Climate Survey. Wow, that's a big name, but it's an important survey. We shorten it up to the CCCC survey, and I'm here to give you an overview of what this survey is all about. The CCCC survey is a survey that will ask you about the school climate and how you are doing in school. We ask students to participate in this survey every 2 years so we can see how everyone's feeling. One reason we do this is because asking you about your school experiences supports the Catholic social teaching of human dignity and living in community. We want everyone to feel safe, respected, and included in their school communities. School and board staff look at the survey answers for different groups of students to see where changes are needed to make school better. The other reason we have this survey is that it is also a legal requirement in Ontario. So, what is the CCCC survey? It's an online survey that asks you about a lot of things, including your background, heritage and culture, grade, and learning needs. It also asks you about how much you feel you belong at school, your emotions and mental health, your attitudes about learning, and how you are treated at school. This year, the CCCC survey will also ask you about your learning during the COVID-19 changes to school. The CCCC survey should take you about 20 minutes to complete. Your teachers has set aside this time for you to do the survey. You can use any device with internet access, a school Chromebook or your phone if you have one. To get to the CCC survey, the survey link is posted at the top of the student dashboard. Okay, so there's some key points you need to know about the CCCC survey. First, it's anonymous. That means we won't be asking you for your name or student number. We also won't be able to find out who did the survey or what they said. The survey is also confidential. Your answers are kept in a protected computer file, and anytime adults can look at the results, they will use the group data, not individual answers. The CCCC survey is also voluntary. It is up to you whether or not you participate. You can stop part of the way through or never start at all, but you don't want to miss out on a chance to share your thoughts, do you? Don't be shy. If you need any help, your teacher can give you a hand. Now, I'm going to let you know more about the questions on the CCCC survey. Just so you know, it isn't a short survey. There are a lot of questions, but they're all important questions that will help adults improve how safe and welcome students feel at school. We can't do this work without your feedback. Your voices are the first step to making school better for everyone. The first set of questions on the CCCC survey ask about who you are. We're not looking for your name or your student number here. Instead, we use your answers to all these questions to get an idea of the parts of your identity that make up who you are socially and academically. For example, your grade, whether you're learning mostly in person this year or mostly just online, your gender, ethnicity, Indigenous background, and race, and whether you get help with English or have an IEP. We use your answers to these questions to group you with similar students to understand how female students or Black students or senior students feel versus other groups of students. These comparisons help us understand how students with different identities experience school differently. After you tell us about who you are, we ask you about whether or not you feel represented or seen in activities and experiences at school. After finding out who you are in terms of social identities and whether you feel represented at school, the CCCC survey will ask you a group of questions related to school belonging and acceptance. These items ask you things like feeling accepted by other students, feeling your school is a friendly place, and whether your school has adults who will listen to you and who have high expectations of you and your fellow students. Next, we will ask you about your emotions, like being excited for the future, happy, relaxed, or even being tired or bored. Your answers to these questions can affect how engaged you are in school. Adults will use your answers to see how they can improve overall engagement at school. We're a school board, so of course we want to know lots about learning. The CCCC survey has a number of questions asking about how you learned. For example, we want to know if you believe in yourself, how you react to mistakes, whether you set goals, and if you ask for help when you're stuck. We also want to know about how you've been learning this year with all the changes COVID-19 has brought to schools. Some of these questions will ask you to compare how you felt about school before COVID-19 and how it is now. After the COVID-19 pandemic ends, the school can get back to how it was before COVID-19. We're sure students want to socialize and participate in different extracurricular activities. The CCCC survey asks how important a number of things will be to you, like teams, clubs, performance groups, friends, field trips, and retreats. Since the CCCC survey is anonymous, we can't actually match up your marks with your attitudes. So we're going to ask you about how you're doing this year in 3 core subjects: math, English, language arts, and science. We'll also ask you about how interesting and challenging these subjects are for you. Sometimes people don't get along at school. That can mean some students end up feeling left out or excluded from groups and/or activities. The CCCC survey asks you if you've ever felt excluded at school. If you've ever felt this way, you'll be asked, why do you think you were left out? For example, did it have to do with your culture or skin color, your abilities, or your appearance? Sometimes people mistreat others at school. Mistreatment can include social and verbal aggression, like threats, name calling, gossiping, and spreading rumors. These negative behaviors can occur in person or in an online setting, like on social media or online video games. Mistreatment can include physical harm or destruction to someone's belongings. Finally, sexual harassment, including inappropriate comments, gestures, texts, photos, or contact, sometimes occurs. To adults, repeated instances of any or all of these negative behaviors are a sign that you are likely being bullied. If you are having these experiences, just don't tell the CCCC survey. It takes way too long to analyze the data for the whole school board and then flag bullying that way. Plus, it's anonymous, so we can't get you the support you need that way. Instead, be sure to tell a trusted adult and/or make a confidential report on your school's online reporting tool. If you have been mistreated in any of the ways listed on the survey, you will also be asked why you think you were treated poorly. This information helps adults at school spot aggression, conflict, and bullying, and take action to address these behaviors school-wide. If you have indeed been mistreated or bullied, the CCCC survey asks what you did about it. If you didn't do anything, you'll be asked why you didn't do anything. Note that I ignored it is the same as doing nothing. The answers you give help us understand how students react to mistreatment and seek help, as well as reasons why they may not report these incidents. Thanks for your attention. Now you can head over to the student dashboard and get started on the CCCC survey. Remember, if you have any questions, be sure to ask your teacher.